Welcome to the Inspired Children Parenting Program with Dr. Rosina McAlpine, making a difference to parents and children around the world.
Hello, I'm Dr. Rosina McAlpine, and today I'm going to be talking about the personal power life skill category. Now, personal power doesn't have anything to do with physical strength. It has to do with inner strength or psychological strength. And the topic I want to talk about is, do you know your child's self-esteem? Now, self-esteem is such an important thing in life. It's the platform from which we operate. So if your child has good self-esteem, they're likely to go out into the world, feel confident to meet new people, learn lots of new things, and be resilient when, life's difficulties stand in their way. On the other hand, a child with low self-esteem is less likely to be able to go out into the world and make friends, to try new things. So it's going to impact their life in a negative way. So what we're going to look at today is how you can assess your child's self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is a judgment that your child has about themselves. It's not about your judgment of your child. Of course, every parent thinks their child is wonderful. But what we really need to find out as a parent is how your child feels about themselves. What I'd like to do is give you some ideas, some questions that you can ask when you sit down with your child to really help assess whether or not they have low or good self-esteem. And when you know where they're at, if they have low self-esteem, you'll see in later episodes, I'll be able to help you how to overcome that and how to boost your child's self-esteem so that they can fly through life. But step number one is finding out, what is your child's assessment of themselves? I'm going to put some questions on the screen, and you'll also find them on my blog so that you can sit down quietly with your child and have an opportunity to talk with them. So take about 10-15 minutes or longer if you have time. Sit in a quiet space and be very patient, because some of the questions you're going to ask are maybe some things that your child hasn't really thought about before, or that they do subconsciously. So let's start. I'm just going to give you a list of questions that you can try. Start with a really positive question, like, what things do you like about yourself? Give your child plenty of time to think about it and to give you some answers. It's really important not to prompt your child. Remember, this is about you discovering how your child feels about themselves, not how you feel about your child. So please just encourage them by saying thank you and, yep, can you think of something else? That's great, thank you, rather than actually coming up with some ideas. Once you feel like they've given you some really good things that they like about themselves, the next question can be, well, what things don't you like about yourself? And again, don't pull a face or make a judgment or say anything negative if they start talking about negative things about themselves. The whole idea is for you to discover how they feel about themselves, what their level of self-esteem is. Another great question you could ask is, in general, do you feel good about who you are right now? Now, these questions are just guidelines for you. You might have better questions that will really help you judge or assess what your child's self-esteem is like. Another set of questions you could try are things like, do you accept that everyone is unique and that you are different to others? And let your child see if or not they do feel that way. And you can start to ask questions like, well, how do you feel about being different to others? What do you think is unique and special about you? Now, I know you're going to want to step in here and say all sorts of things, but the key to making this a success is just listening. Listening, taking notes, and hearing what your child says. Not commenting other than saying, thank you, tell me a bit more. Can you elaborate on that? The final set of questions I'd like to share is, when you look in the mirror, do you like who or what you see? As you can imagine, teenagers today have a lot of body issues, and it's wonderful for you to find out whether or not your child is happy with the way they look. Just ask questions like, tell me more about that, or could you be more specific if you need a little bit more of an elaboration?
An important question you can ask is, do you think you're lovable? What makes you lovable, or what makes you not lovable? All of these types of questions are really going to help you assess how your child feels about themselves and what their level of self-esteem is. Finally, it's great to look at their self-talk. You can ask questions like, do you often say positive things to yourself? Such as, yeah, I'm smart, I'm funny, I like being me. Or do you usually say negative things, such as I'm stupid or fat or boring or ugly or even I'm an idiot? Take this time to really listen to your child, just so you can get a feel for their answers. Don't prompt them, only invite them to speak, but don't give them your judgments about it.
I hope you found this a really valuable exercise, and I hope you've learned a lot about your child. In this episode, all we've looked at is how to evaluate or understand your child's self-esteem. If your child has low self-esteem, feel free to go to my blog, have a look at the articles on how to boost and support self-esteem, and there's going to be a lot more upcoming episodes on how to boost and support your child so that they've got great self-esteem and can fly through life. Thanks for listening, and please join my program next time.